Okay. So yeah, just to really start about getting gigs and festivals and conferences, to just kind of talk about the overall benefit of it is that there's so much potential to reach your ideal client, to really be able to take yoga students who are obviously taking it one step further with their seriousness. And it's an excellent way to, just like a webinar, to sit with them, to talk about what you do, to talk about how they can shift their lives, whatever it is that your niche is. And the opportunity afterwards to work with private clients is excellent. It's also a way to pad your resume, so to speak, if you're looking for additional conferences and festivals. So let me kind of dive right in with the festival producers, because that's the person that you're going to try and connect with the most. Their goal is flat out, it's to get ticket sales. They want to make sure that they sell out the event. That's their primary goal. And they're juggling really a schedule matrix of so many different teachers and workshops going on. They try to have a theme or an intention. I mean, the ones that the bigger names do have more of an intention. I teach at a local one called Breathe Yoga Festival, and that's just it. They're called Breathe Yoga Festival. So they do have their favorite teachers, so you have to contend with that, and they often book these things 10 to 18 months in advance. So you got to be on it. There's I'm going to give you some references of where you can look up different festivals. I actually have, I have paid so much money to have people go and do this for me. I paid freelancers to go out and find the top 100 yoga festivals.
Wow.
And then I had an events manager who went out and then sent my resume to the ones that I actually wanted to speak at. And that's where I really learned a lot about this stuff, or learned a lot about this stuff. So they do book 10 to 18 months in advance. What I'll do is send out to everyone the top 100 yoga festivals spreadsheet with all the contact information. Yeah, I think even their social media presence. Okay. Yeah, that's how much I love you guys. I'm just going to pass that on. No, it's a really great reference. So what you need when you're coming and you're looking at connecting with a producer for the event, a festival or a conference, is you need a unique offering. And this shouldn't be anything like new to anyone, in the sense of there's your niche. It's really your opportunity to let the world know what you specialize in. So there is a little bit of a catch-22, because you're trying to get, you want exposure, and again, producers, their primary goal is ticket sales. So they do have, festivals in general have a pretty tight budget. And even if you're a celebrity in the yoga world, you're probably not going to make a lot of money. And really, it's an opportunity just to connect with other teachers, to spread your message, to reach more students. And so we're really going to go into like how to decide which events are the right ones for you. The first one, really, like key elements, is the right location. So think about it this way. Unless you plan to work with clients online and coach them one-on-one, then probably going to have to get something that's geographically close so you can connect with your students. Obviously, we don't need to go into the benefits of being able to connect with people online. You don't have to necessarily be in person. But if you have an in-person service, then obviously location is key. So is that something that's going to be conducive to you to get business? And it's the right students. Not every yoga festival is the same. You will have different crowds, and you have to see if these are the right students that you want to attract into your business. And you have to make sure it's the appropriate offering. Hey, let me ask just real quick, any questions coming up so far, Sandy?
So, well, just that you're saying that geographically, like, don't go do this in Miami if you're not going to be either online or live in the Miami area. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. So if you're going to be doing, coaching online, just like in this format.
Yeah.
If you're willing to do that, then yes, you can work with clients that are literally all over the world. So you're not contained geographically, you're not limited. But if you're going to do something that's in person, like if you're doing in-person workshops, if you're going to a retreat's a different story. You can still attract different students from different geographical locations if you're doing a retreat, which in your case, that's a huge one.
Yeah.
I mean, when I look at you, Sandy, and what you offer, like retreats come up so much because you're in these like group settings from what you've told me.
Yep.
And people can only go so far in whatever, an hour or 2 hours.
Right.
When you're living that experience for a week, you're away from the actual distractions. I mean, it's just like anything for addiction recovery. Often you will go away for a period to try and get perspective and get away from being on top of your life. So again, I really think that retreats are an excellent way for you to grow your business, without a doubt. And I think you told me that that's something that you're interested in doing as well.
Yeah, I love the idea. And at some point I could use some suggestions on maybe another one to go on. I mean, I've been on some, but or
personally, or one for you to actually host?
Personally. And then,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a whole other topic probably, but yeah, I'd like to know more about how that works and how many people have to help plan it with you and that type of thing.
Well, listen, I know that everybody can't be on the call, so I do these recordings, but I do want to say, like, I'm glad when someone actually shows up. I mean, there's always someone that shows up, but when someone shows up, you're going to get a lot of attention. So, I mean, like, let's know. I mean, that you should be rewarded for actually showing up at the call. So what I want to say just real quick in regards to a festival, personally, what came up for me right off the bat was Tommy Rosen Recovery 2.0.
Right.
That is an excellent one that I went on personally 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I have a couple of my best friends are actually, to date, are from going to that retreat.
Wow.
Plus, it's such a because you kind of deal in people in their patterns of life, addictions.
Yeah.
It's such an excellent way to just enhance currently what you're already doing and bringing even more of a holistic approach.
Yeah. So. Yeah. And I can find a way to qualify too. Anyone can, but yeah.
To qualify for his retreat?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he does have an application. He does have an application, and I do know that it's gotten bigger, but someone like yourself it is. And the thing is that it even goes back to always what I talk about, and maybe you've seen in some of the recent the group coaching calls, is that, again, let people qualify themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're so often, we get someone that's interested and we get so excited that we want to just tell them everything about the program. Right. And the thing is that, it's so nice to take that breath of fresh air, that step back and say, well, yeah, I definitely would love to talk to you. We'll have to sit down and see if it's the right fit, or I have short application to see if it's going to be the right connection. And so anyways, so it's a phenomenal event. It's a really phenomenal event. It's at Blue Spirit in Costa Rica, which is my favorite place. Nosara, right there. Surfing, every massage under the sun.
Wow.
Yeah, okay, I got to stay on task here. So.
Yeah, no, it sounds great. That's a good idea. Thank you.
Yeah, so looking at, obviously, because you're booking things out to 10 to 18 months in advance for festivals. And again, let me just kind of reemphasize that, again, they have a tight budget. So they're looking for people that can also market the festival to their audience. So if you're telling them, yes, I have an email list, and you have a loyal following, you have some type of social media presence, then they are, yes, definitely interested in what you have to offer. I mean, when I go to yoga festivals and I tell them that I have an email list of a little over 55,000 now, they're like, whoa.
Yeah, that's valuable.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that the most valuable thing often in your business will actually be your email list. Not the property, not the computers, not all that. Your biggest asset is literally your email list. So anyways, so now what they're looking to do is to get someone in there that, again, can really promote the event, can have a unique offering that's going to draw even more people. And then what you're looking at is that, is this the right location for me? Is it conducive to get more business? Am I going to get the right students out of this? Are these the ones that I want to attract? Like some of the events that could be really for young people, and you're focusing maybe on older generations, that might not be an event for you. So these are things to consider. It's also reasonable expenses, like how much is it going to cost you to actually get out there?
Mm.
How much? So looking at the cost versus the benefit.
Mm.
And if you're say selling a program where you're charging $2,000 for, and it's going to cost you $1,000 to get out to the event, it's probably worth you. If you got even one client, then it would be worth it to you.
Right.
If you're offering something such as private one-on-one classes, then you have to look at again. So it depends on your offerings and what event benefit in the cost. So robust marketing, is their marketing good? This is, putting it back on them. Are they actually going to market this in an effective and successful way? And what is their record of marketing? Look at their past events. Look if they were successful. And are they going to promote you? That's something that you want to ask. Because you want to, again, it is about exposure. So again, are they going to promote you? And then, because I've been around the festival scene for a while now, I've seen really well done professional production, and then I've seen just like on a shoestring budget. Where,
yeah.
Anyways, you can just imagine. So, you have to ask questions like, are they going to set up for you? I got to an event actually about a half hour early, and I found out that they hadn't even set up the tent that I was about to speak at.
Wow.
So will they treat you well?
Mm-hmm.
And do they have a good reputation of being professional producers? And you can, look at past teachers and reach out to them and say, hey, did you have a good experience at this event? And then also just looking at Facebook reviews, people that have left reviews for the events is a good thing to look at. So those are the things that you need to ask yourself. And then if you feel like you're ready to move forward with an event, if you feel like it's the right fit, it's now connecting with the producers. And you'll often find that on their website. Obviously, they're going to have a website for the festival itself. And then under Contact Us, they're going to have a way for you to connect with the producer of the event. So then let's talk about, once you've found the correct information to reach out to them, what is the outreach, what is the tracking of that, and how do you follow up? So what you'll need to do is prepare a media kit first and foremost. And that's one of the things I'll actually go over towards the end. That includes, websites, your testimonials, your unique offering. In a way, think of this producer as a potential student.
Mm.
What is going to attract them to want to, sign up? Because most of them are yogis, and they're going to ask themselves, would this be something I'd want to attend?
Yeah.
So you want to, again, website, testimonials, and unique offerings. And so construct the email in a very professional way with no typos. I think men often, I don't want to stereotype, but I feel like men have a little bit more typos than women, but I have been doing this for a while now, and I've gotten some Vata, teachers who just do not look at what they're typing out, and it's got to be like spell check. Just do the essentials before you send it out, and don't put a lot of fluff in it. It's kind of like even going back to when I see teachers, studio owners talking about themselves on their website under the About Us section. They'll put a lot of fluff, and they'll list almost every single training they've ever been through, and sometimes it doesn't even really relate to yoga, and you're like, okay.
Mm.
So it's your opportunity to really just give that. Why is it that you teach this? Why is it unique? What is the benefits for the people that actually come out to the workshop? You want to get straight to the point. So again, no fluff. And the first paragraph is just simply say why you're writing them. It sounds funny, but some teachers will just send out like their resume and like, here's my resume, thanks. And the person doesn't even know like what that you're doing. Like, are you trying to become a speaker at the event? What's your intention here?
Right.
So just be clear with that. Just one simple paragraph.
I have a question. Is it?
Yes.
It's not. It's not like a conference where you have to do, like, conferences have like proposals for this conference, and you have to fill out like an online form with your proposal with all that information, and then they pick you by a certain date. It's not like that. Is that right?
It can be. So you'll see both ways. That's a great point. So sometimes you'll actually do it on the website right there.
Okay.
And then sometimes you'll actually just they'll just give us their email address of how to contact them.
Okay.
So me personally, I prefer, if I have an email address, to actually send it out from my personal email address.
Yeah.
That's just a preference for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, really, really good question, because it can go both ways. So in regards to follow-up, they're not always going to get back to you. And sometimes it takes them a while, but you do want to stay in their sphere of influence. You want to connect with them and show that you're serious. Mm-hmm. So literally, I say weekly, but if not bi-weekly, do like a check-in until they've really gotten back to you. And what I do is actually I create a spreadsheet that lists each event, and then I have the contact information. Then I have notes to see how often I've actually followed up. So I have dates.
Right.
Again, as a professional, if you're looking to get out there, we have to stay in their sphere of influence. They're not going to see you as annoying. They understand that you have something to offer, and you're just trying to be recognized. So it does not. Trust me, they want to make sure that they get the right teachers in, and that shows that you're serious about the event. So let's talk about, start going into conferences and festivals, starting with regional. So what I recommend is starting out locally, because you're going to be doing this for the first time. You need to get some experience under your belt and seeing what it's like, to just be there locally and go through a yoga festival. Mm-hmm. There's and just to give you some ideas of local festivals, there's charity events that you can start off with. There's like Yoga in the Park. I actually know the owner of Yoga in the Park, so if anybody ever wants to use that.
Wait, so is that a thing? I thought it was, I know different studios take turns or different teachers take turns, but that's actually a thing then, Yoga in the Park?
Yeah, so great question. And Orlando is, I believe, one of the cities where they go to for that. Huh. So he had coined the business name Yoga in the Park. He trademarked it. Wow. It's Eric Venu. I was put in touch with them. We were at one point in time thinking about creating something just like the Yoga Alliance, but in a little bit different formats and more about real business training to show yoga teachers how to be successful. But this is my baby, and so I decided to stay with my baby. But anyway, so yeah, Yoga in the Park is an excellent resource. There's street wellness festivals. It doesn't just have to be a yoga festival. Right. There are different ways for you to get your name out there. So then there's regional festivals where you have like the Northwest Yoga Conference. There's the Cannon Beach Yoga Festival, Floyd Yoga Jam. These are some ideas. And again, the list I'm going to give you, they're going to be more national, but there are going to be some good regional ones in there as well. There's Wanderlust and there's Yoga Journal. I mean, some of these are just obvious, but these are just to give you some names of what the national and the regionals and locals. Wow. So, excuse me, I'm a little sick. The cold medicine is making me a little loopy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so there's that added benefit at this time of the day. Okay, so how to use these bookings to expand your yoga business. So again, you want to clearly define your intent for doing the festival. Again, I'm always taking it back to square one. What is your vision? What is the vision for your business? And does this festival or this conference fall in alignment with that? And you have to decide, is it to make money? Is that your clear intention? To get exposure, to get connection? Sometimes, I'll actually, there's another company that does yoga marketing called 90 Monkeys. And I can't remember how terrible with pronouncing Amy's last name, Ippoliti or something like that. Mm-hmm. And so I know that she'll be at that conference, and she's saturated a lot of the people in this area from that conference talking about yoga marketing. She actually wrote a book on it too. Wow. So there is, what I was going to say is that I want to connect with teachers there locally, because there's just benefits for me to connect with teachers locally. And then there's also a lot of national teachers that will come in, like Tommy Rosen and Hugh Miller. Plus my core professor at Naropa University for yoga, Nataraja, he is involved with it too. So it's just nice to be involved with my teacher and things of that nature. So again, clearly making sure what it is that you're intending for this event. So before the event, again, the interaction with the producers, it's got to be professional. You need to be available to them. I did make the mistake one time of being really almost overbooked, and the producer, I wasn't getting back to them and quick enough, and they actually took me off the calendar and gave it to somebody else. Wow. So again, make sure that you're available, that they just want to make sure they can get answers quickly. There is ways to make promotions, obviously on social media, whatever presence you have, to announce that, promoting it to your students. Your students not only on social media, but also your fans. Mm-hmm. It's really important that as yoga teachers, we start to socially sell, that we actually start converting fans to actual clients. And that means flat out promoting what you do. And the thing is that I used to say 4-to-1 posts of non-promotional to promotional posts on social media. I'm to the point of, I'd say 2-to-1. Because often when we speak about our events, we also give a lot of information that's helpful. Mm-hmm. So again, people understand that you're running a business. And I don't find yoga promotions, if I'm a student of someone or a fan, I don't mind if they promote their events. I actually have a good friend of mine who's a yoga teacher, and she does these really cool events where she teams with, it's like called SoundCloud, and they have these, just really high-tech earphones, and she has a microphone, and they actually play really beautiful music, but you have it more an intense experience because you're wearing the headphones. Wow. And then you hear what she's saying, through the headphones as you're going through it. And it's absolutely amazing. I've been to 2 of her events, and I do live in Colorado. So I went to her one session, which was Ven Yin, so Vinyasa and Yin. Right. And it was combined with Ganjasana, where there was marijuana and there was actual postures. Whatever feelings people have about marijuana, I mean, it's a pretty amazing experience when you have professionals and you have the right intention. I think it's really beautiful. Wow. Anyways, so I don't mind when she promotes her events, whatever they may be, because I really love her as a teacher. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I would say that it's very rare that I get just something that's about yoga. Most of it's about her events. And I totally understand that. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm happy to get those invites because I love being a part of it.
So that's once you're already like a fan.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is that she runs 3 different social media groups. Like she's a co-founder of yogiapproved.com, where I'm a guest blogger. And she first started out as a teacher before she ever did that. She has teamed up with a lot of different companies locally, and she'll do their social media. So she actually runs 3 different social media campaigns. One of them is like I Love Yoga with over 200,000 people.
Wow.
And she was able, through her list, to be able to segregate people that were in the local area and send out invites. So I had never like subscribed to a newsletter of hers or like anything online. She was able to, geographically pinpoint fans and actually send out the promotions to them, which is very, very smart. And one thing that I teach inside the program. So, all right. We were on promoting it on social media, promoting it to your students, having something to promote at the event, which is really important, such as, do you have a clear program for a teacher training or for a workshop or for them to work with you one-on-one? I do not recommend offering more than 2 things at a workshop. You want to make it easy for them to make a decision. If you give them too many options, it takes time, and they can't come up with a response then and there. They got to think about it. And the thing is that it's not that anyone has a bad intention, that they're just going to, intentionally forget about you, but life comes up. One thing after another will come up, and unfortunately they'll put things to the side. So with that, you want to have 2 choices at the most, and you also want to give them a special to move forward at the event. Give them a reason to sign up with you then and there. And you want to, because the thing is that it's about building off that momentum. If somebody, goes home and it's the same price, again, there's not a lot of urgency for them to move forward. And while they're there with you, it's convenient. They're getting a discount to do it, and it feels right. And it's all about emotion. The thing that I want to convey as we, just in general, and I spoke about this on the Training on Conscious Sales, is that you really want to connect with your students, and again, have something for you to clearly promote. Like, I'll come back to that actually. I have a lot more to say that. So with your students, again, you want to connect with them during the event. You want to be available, again, promoting your workshops and events while you're there.
So I went to something about a month ago, a little more, with Sarah Powers, and it was a 2-day workshop, just 4 hours a day.
Yes. Yeah, I think there's another teacher in the program actually that has taken. Yeah, because she's a Yen teacher, correct?
Yes. And so she, she doesn't do a lot of those. And in fact, I think she's winding down a little. So she didn't really promote much, but she talked in a way where she was leading you to, and at our retreats, we do this and that type of thing.
Yeah.
And to her website. And then right after, of course, emails came, about upcoming retreats, and then sort of stopped. But I know I would, if there was something right then and there, I would have done it. I was so excited, so into it. And then, and did what she suggested, like meditate every day and do all this stuff for 90 days. And I did it for like 8, and so, but there wasn't something to sign up to. And everybody around me was like, oh my gosh, I don't know whether to go to a retreat or a training. So, it was an opportunity, and it didn't do it, but she's also Sarah Powers. So,
well, it's, there's maybe at that point, she said that she had retreats. Did she actually have retreats available at that point?
Yeah, they were online. I found them online.
Okay. So you found them online after the event, like soon after the event?
Yeah, because I was excited, but had I known more and what happens, because I still didn't know, do I want a training or do I want a retreat? And so
I don't know her intention, but some teachers want to make sure that they don't come over as overly salesy, and that's obviously really important.
Yeah.
What I tell people at events is like, listen, if you're enjoying this information and you'd like to connect more, these are some of the offerings that I have. Let me know if you have any questions. And I just simply tell them, like, listen, if you really feel like in your gut that that there's a connection here and you think we should work together, then yeah, I recommend signing up, and I give you an incentive to do so, because
Right.
it's so much easier to make a decision now while you're here.
Yeah.
So that's all I say. I'm not coming off like, you know what, it's a really good idea if we work together. And what I've done, it's just staying within the yoga realm of just being conscious and authentic in how you speak about it. And I'm sure I don't worry about anybody in this program doing it the only thing that I want to speak to, man, you think I'd turn my phone off, wouldn't you? So what, I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? It's the cold medicine. What was I just speaking about, Sandy?
The cold medicine. So not being too salesy. Okay, I get it.
Well, yeah, right. So what I was going to actually speak about, you feel it be. What I do want to speak about is when you're going to bring up what you have to offer, there has to be confidence.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be delivered in a confident way, because it's just like when your students, they can sense fear. They can sense fear when you're not feeling confident in the way that you teach.
Right.
They can sense fear if you're not confident in the way that you ask them if you'd like to work together. Mm-hmm. And the thing is that I want everyone to remember this, that it is a natural progression to work with a student if there's a connection and you can indeed help them. You almost have an obligation. It's like you have the key to this person's potential suffering, to the end of their suffering. Mm-hmm. And you need to share that with them. Mm-hmm. It's not about you. We're sharing a 5,000-year-old practice that's a path of liberation. And so, again, it's not about promoting you. It's simply just a way for you to extend that relationship, to grow your following, to people that you connect with, your perfect client. And the thing is that just like anything, when you're, like, let's say you're on a date, you're looking for confidence from that person. It's not that because they're promoting themselves, they just know that they're confident in who they are. And you need to be confident in who you are as a teacher and the transformational benefits that we can provide these people.
Yeah, it's a job interview.
Sure. Mm-hmm. I want to say it's a conversation between potential friends.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because the thing is that in a job interview, I don't know, maybe I'm just synonymous with that being nervous. So
yeah.
Maybe that's just me.
Yeah.
So let me just kind of recap, going over this. So the main person that you're going to connect with is the festival producer. Their main goal is to do ticket sales. They've got a lot going on in terms of juggling a schedule. They typically obviously have a theme or intention for the event, and they do have their favorites, who they've gone to again and again. But there's always an opportunity. I would say almost at least half the time, you have the speaker window is open. Mm-hmm. But you need to make sure that you get to them, 10 to 18 months in advance, because they do book out. Like, for instance, with the Hanuman Festival for this year, I had to talk to them 14 months, so 2 months before even the previous event. That's how far they book these things out. So you as a person need a unique offering. You need to come to the plate. You need to come up with obviously your specialty and your niche. And that's what you're going to convey to your audience, because that's just going to reaffirm that you're the expert in that area. So festivals, they do have a tight budget, so don't be expecting to get paid a lot, if at all. Sometimes they do have, just obviously they're always going to typically give you a free yoga pass to the event, so you can enjoy that. Which, you get to a big event, that's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And so even if you are a celebrity in the yoga world, you're not going to get paid a lot. So I want to set the right expectation for everyone. So when you're looking to choose an event, the first part you look at is it the right location? And is it conducive to how you get business? If you're doing a teacher training and you're in Toronto, but you live in California, that might not be suitable for a lot of people. Not everyone can take, say, 30 days off, or if it's, every other weekend for 9 months, whatever can someone from far away actually attend the event or the teacher training or events or whatever your offering is? And are these the right students for you? If it's a older, maybe it's an older crowd, but you cater to more young people. If it's just not really going to be your perfect audience, you don't want to be there. It's as simple as that. Because you want to speak to the people that need your services. And again, is it the appropriate offering? Is there a suitable date and duration? I mean, can you take 4 days off if you need to be there, or to the extent that you travel? Is it reasonable expenses? How much is it going to cost you to get there? And what is the cost versus the benefit? If it's costing you, $1,000 in travel and hotel stay to get out to this place, and you're selling a teacher training, how many students do you need to get to before you become profitable? And does it make sense? And then, is their marketing good? Look at this closely. Look at this. They're looking at you while you're also looking at them. You might not, there's a couple festivals that I probably wish I hadn't done. If I had done a little bit more research, I probably wouldn't have done the yoga festival. So are they going to treat you well? Do they have a good reputation of being professional producers? Like, do they have professional production? And then really, are they going to promote you? Do they have a good history of promoting the event as well? So when you want to connect with the producers, you're going to see it on their website. It's going to be under the Contact Us page. When you want to outreach to them, you're going to go ahead and prepare a media kit right before. Have that professional looking with your website testimonials, no issues with typos, and you really want to show why you're unique and why people will attend this event. Again, look at this like they're a potential student. Why would that person want to go to your event? What is the benefits to them? What's in it for them? And then if they don't have the availability to reach out to the producer on the website, you want to construct an email. Again, professional, not a lot of fluff, straight to the point. What's the benefits? Why are people going to attend this event? And what is it that, again, what will they really get out of this? And why will it be well attended? Is there a demographic for this type of audience that you're trying to speak to? Again, spell it out for them. Really make it abundantly clear why people would show up for your event. What is the draw for that? And again, how you're going to benefit them by bringing in more students. So when you're looking at locally, there's charity events, there's yoga in the park. Again, it doesn't have to be an official yoga festival. There's also street wellness festivals. It's a way for you to reach out. It's a way for you to get your name out there, especially if you're teaching even private one-on-ones or if you have workshops locally. If it makes sense, if your demographic and your target market is going to be there, it's a good idea. Same thing for regional events, and just a few names like the Northwest Yoga Conference, the Cannon Beach Yoga Festival, and Floyd Yoga Jam. And I'll give you the names of the top 100 yoga festivals with all their contact information and allow you to the spreadsheet so you can reach out to them. How to use these bookings to expand your yoga business. So again, what's your goal for the event? Why are you there? Is it to make money? Is it to connect with other yoga teachers, as well as, maybe your community? Is it for exposure? And it can obviously be more than one. It could be all three. But get very clear on what it is you're there for, because it just shows your intention for the event so that it kind of stays with you. And then while you're there, before the event, interacting with producers, obviously be professional, be available to them, promote, on social media to your students, converting them from fans to actual people coming out to your classes or your workshops. And then while you're at the event, connect with your students. I mean, this goes without saying, just be professional, be you as a teacher. It's your chance to shine. It's your opportunity to really just do what you love. I mean, this should be fun. This really should be fun. I mean, I'm curious, Sandy, do you like being in front of a crowd? I think you told me that you.
Yeah.
No, and I love it. I
know.
absolutely love it because I love the energy.
Yeah, I know. Well,
There's,
you know.
yeah, it's just an excellent way to connect with your students and to just, again, do what you love.
Yeah, definitely.
So with the media kit, obviously it's going to have a bio and, who you are as a teacher. Who are you as a teacher? Are you a vinyasa yoga teacher? Are you talking about your niche of what you do? And then what your experiences of what you've been able to provide for your students. And of course, you can give credentials that are yoga related. If you're an RYT 500, if you've gone through your RYT 200, if you've gone through yoga therapy, if you've gone through different psychology or something related to the healing arts. It could even be something around nutrition, something that obviously shows that you're an expert. And then your workshop description, same thing, just like you're talking to your students. Make it enticing, like a prospective student who's looking at you like, why would I want to seek this person out? Why would I want to go to their event? Like, what's in it for me? And then obviously testimonials. I'll just mention just real quick is that have a really good headshot. And the thing is, a really good headshot could be something even on your iPhone. I'm not saying you have to go out and get a photo shoot. Just a side note, I've had 2 photo shoots in the last year, and one of them was a photographer of a friend of mine that I just loved her work, and I asked her, hey, how much do you cost? And she was only $100, and she did really, really amazing work. Like, wow. It was right in the middle of the winter. Part of the creek that I lived on was frozen over. So I walked onto the creek and was like wearing all white. There was snow covering, everything. It was absolutely amazing.
That's great.
And so again, it doesn't have to be something that you pay $1,000, $2,000, even $500 for. And I think that's one of the things that people get really intimidated when it comes to actually growing their businesses is they have unrealistic ideas of what things cost. And I'm here to literally shatter that. I just got my profit and loss statement for the year done for 2016 for $5 on Fiverr. Wow. $5 that would have easily cost me $300 to have an accountant do.
Yep.
And it's not a risk when you look at the person's feedback, when they've done a good job previously and you can verify it. If you're doing somebody that has never done this before, like they have 0 feedback or they have less than 10 feedback, yeah, question it. But if there's professionals out there on freelancer.com, on upwork.com, my assistant, my virtual assistant, she's in Kenya. She knows how to set up all my email campaigns. I write the emails, but she sets up all the automation.
That's great.
She does all my customer service. She does, my WordPress website. She knows how to make changes on the back end.
Wow.
I pay her $7 an hour.
Wow.
And that's a lot of money where she's at. So, and she's an excellent worker. Yeah. So, and I cap myself, not that I really need to, but I cap myself at spending more than $70 a week. You could cap yourself at making, when you work with someone, a virtual assistant, of $25 a week.
Yeah.
Think about the areas in your life, and I know this is a little bit of an offshoot, but hey, that's my style, is that you can literally get people, if you've got website changes, or if you're doing admin work, if you're doing like bookkeeping, look at what you want to make per year. Then break that down to per week. Then break that down to per hour. And if you're doing this If you're saying you want to make $100 per hour, or let's just say $50 per hour, and you're doing the accounting, is that taking, would it actually cost less for somebody else to do it?
Oh, sure. Right.
And save you time. So think about it that way. So again, I just want to really blow the lid off things that it does not cost $3,000 for a website. You do not have to pay that. I paid $200 to have a professional in India do it, and he was great. Not the best language translating. There was a few times there was some issues, but all in all, just a really good experience. And Fiverr has the exact same thing. I know people that will build it, even though it's starting at $5, it'll go sometimes $50, and that's somebody who will build you a whole new WordPress website. It's pretty amazing. Okay, got sidetracked. Getting back to the bio. Again, talk about who you are as a teacher. Talk about the benefits and the results that you provide to your students. Talk about your credentials, what is important, what's relatable. Make the workshop enticing. And your testimonials, that goes without saying. It's just a really great social proof when you have people that are singing your praises. So it's always a good idea to have testimonials, whether you're doing it for a festival, whether you're doing it for your website. You never know when you'll need a testimonial. So you want also a good pose shot. It could even be something as simple as Warrior One. It could be a triangle pose. You could be doing a simple like forward bend, something with a really good pose shot. And then an action shot of you interacting with your students. Again, it's about social proof.
That's good.
For those people that are, this is a really good topic because, for instance, like Sandy, for you do workshops.
Mm-hmm.
And I realize that sometimes people do not want to have their picture taken, but if you show that, if you just simply ask, do you mind if we take a picture, just to show that we're everyday people. This isn't, something, just to give it to relatable. And what that means is that now your target market sees that they're one of your audience. They're just like one of the people that would come and see you. Right. They're not any different. And that's important because also when you're trying to show your niche, let's say you work with baby boomers. Well, you want to have a picture of you working with baby boomers because it's just a re-emphasis that this is who you work with. Mm-hmm. This is your niche. You're the expert in that. So I think that's it. I really didn't think this was going to take 50 minutes, but man, I'll talk your ear off on cough medicine, or I'll forget what I'm saying. So there is that distinct possibility. So Sandy, any questions at this point?
No, it gave me a lot of ideas because I'm going to be teaching like an elective in a 300-hour program locally. And that's something that I could take to other 300-hour programs.
Absolutely.
I mean, 300 to 500, whatever it is. And so I guess it would be just like going to different areas that I am willing to visit and seeing who has those programs. But, I also once attended a week-long program in Santa Fe, and it was a certificate in, you're like certified, you get a certificate in yoga for eating disorders.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you're certified, but you get a certificate. And so it was retreat style, but I mean, that's something that can be done as well. So anyway, it just gave me a lot of good ideas.
Well, there's so many opportunities, when you put yourself out there. There really is. Yeah, and the thing is that even if someone says no, it's nothing personal. It really is nothing personal. Yeah. Maybe they realized that it wasn't the right venue.
Right.
Maybe that you really did need to get some more experience on a local level before heading out there.
Yep.
But the thing is that at the end of the day, you're looking at who you want to work with.
Mm-hmm.
You want to think about the vision that you have for your business. And does this festival, does this event, does this conference really align with that? And that's how, again, when we find ourselves getting pulled in multiple directions, and just being worn out, exhausted, what I've found from my own personal experience and then also working with others is that we're not looking at our vision. We're not looking at our goals. Because when we're constantly focused on what it is that we really want, then the things that are not important will simply melt away, or we'll start to draw boundaries in our life. That's one of the reasons that I recommended reading the book Essentialism, because
Essentialism?
yeah, it's the disciplined pursuit of less.
Yeah.
It's really important in a lot of ways, because when you actually figure out what is the most important things to you, and you get some emotional maturity in a way that you're able to say no. Because I think what is such a miscommon belief is that if we always say yes, then things will work out better for everyone. And that's not always the case, because we have to just simply, clue in energetically, like, is this the right thing for me? And being able to say no. And that's, I see yoga teachers again and again, like, and studio owners, especially when they have employees, they'll let them get away with things that are not beneficial to the business. And you have to say something. And just like you have to draw your boundaries with students that are taking up your time and not respecting that you're a professional and that, they need to schedule something or pay for your services. So there we go again, going off on a tangent, but Sandy, I always glad that you were able to be on the call today.
Yeah, me too. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, so I'll send out the information regarding the 100 top yoga festivals. And what I'm also going to do, which I think is very timely for all of you, is that I had put together a worksheet called Yoga Niche Secrets. And it's really a great way to hone in on your niche and look at it from a different angle, besides just, what is my perfect client's frustrations and their problems. It's looking at the side of what you're passionate about. So
yeah, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the last thing that I'll say, and I think that's my famous phrase. That's the last thing I'll say. I say that quite a bit. Is that it's so important in this beginning process, and I'm speaking to those like yourself who are in week, like your week 2, module 2, moving forward, that this time is so special to get clear on what it is that you want for your life. And that will always be your driving force in everything, including your business decisions, because is it in alignment with the vision that you have for yourself? Mm-hmm. And then getting clear on who it is that you really love to work with. And it's just like looking at your goals. Obviously when you look at your goals, and I'm not trying to push goals on anybody right now. Like, I'm not saying you should, anything like that. I'm saying you have the ability to look at goals. And when you do look at your goals more often, you simply align with the person that you need to be to accomplish them. And things tend to fall more in place. So the same thing with your perfect client. When you clue in on them energetically and you're looking at your, the attributes of your perfect client, and you're just, again, aligning with them, that's who continues to show up in your business, because simple law of attraction, that's where your awareness is going. Now, I am definitely, without a doubt, going to show you the step after that of how to market to them and how to reach them. But we first need to get very clear on our life and then who we love to work with first. And this isn't rainbows and butterflies, law of attraction is without a doubt spot on. There's not a question about it. Mm-hmm. But, I want to give you the tools to be able to move forward and reach those perfect clients, but we have to make sure our mindset is right before we move forward.
Is it one perfect client only? Or
depends on your business.
Okay.
So give me an idea. What do you?
Could it be adults with this and I mean, for me, you know, I've like two businesses, one that's yoga based and the other counseling. So could it be counseling is just mainly eating disorders in general?
Yes.
And the yoga might be a little different, you know, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. Great question, because we have a lot of studio owners and also teachers that have different offerings. Like, let's say they do massage
Right.
as well. So
Right.
yes, I highly recommend for each one of your services, your businesses, to do a perfect client,
Okay.
to really hone in on that.
Okay. That's good. That helps.
Yeah. Because again, you want to make sure that you're always talking to your target audience, and it's quite possible that your offerings could vary on that end. So great question, really great question.
Okay. Good.
Sandy, anything else?
That's it. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Looking forward to connecting with you on our next coaching call.
Okay. Thanks.
Hey, have a great rest of the week.
You too. Bye.
Bye.